We make many, many decisions. Some of those decisions are good, some of those decisions are stupid. But at some point, HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, time's up, son. Come back to Abba. What happens the moment you die? The Arizal in Shara Gilgulim is one of the primary sources that discusses what happens in the grave. Chapter 23, he gives us some insights. He says that the beatings of the grave, which is what happens to a person after they die and they're buried in the ground, immediately after everybody leaves and all the neighboring souls are doing their yelling and screaming and so on, immediately 4 angels come and they lower the ground of that grave and they deepen it and make it like a hollow to the height of the person. Then, after they deepen it, they stand them up. They stand her up. Then these angels that don't have any aspect of mercy, they have yes and no. Then each of these angels mentioned holds an end of the body. You get this corner, that corner, that corner. That's how the angels hold the body. He's alive now. The soul's back in there. And they start shaking him, just like you shake a bedsheet. And they start beating him with sticks of fire to remove the klipa that separates him from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. What's this klipa? It's like a spiritual garment, very thin spiritual garment that we all have. And that person cannot go to the Bet Din of Shamayim until that garment is broken. And that garment is similar to a shell. And these angels shake him and hit him until it's broken. The thicker it is, the more difficult it is. And until that comes off, we're not finished. And this is why it's called Chibut HaKever, the beatings of the grave. If I'm scaring you, that's a good sign. That means your soul is still alive. The Reshit Chochmah, in chapter 12 of Shara Yirah, says the following. One angel hits him. Another angel counts how many hits. Because there's a judgment in heaven of how many hits he's allowed to hit him. The third angel shoots out fire from his own body like a furnace. And the fourth angel brings the bitter and sour grasses from the mountains, in case he stole from his friend or from other people, if you have eaten stolen property with your teeth. And then another angel shows up and brings the neshama of his parents, his mother and his father. And at that moment, these malachim give him, the person that died, the permission to hit his father and mother. Because they're the reason he's there. Why didn't you instruct your children to study Torah and fulfill mitzvot? They are partners to the crime. And if he feels embarrassed, no, I don't want to hit my Imai and Abba, I love them. Then they hit him instead, in front of his parents, and make his parents suffer watching their son or daughter get hit. Before the hits begin, the person is in shock. And the angels say to him, get up. Your time has arrived. And then they open up his eyes and he sees the truth. And the first thing that he sees is the Malach HaMavet himself, and he holds a knife in his hand, and at the tip of the knife there is a drop of bile hanging from it. The moment that a person sees this Malach HaMavet, he gets so scared that he opens his mouth. And the drop falls into their mouth. And from that they die. From that they become smelly and disgusting. From that, the person's face becomes discolored. And at that moment, they actually see HaKadosh Baruch Hu himself. In the book Yaron Dvash, in the second drush, he says if people only knew what punishment exists in Gehenom, they'd literally start crying hysterically, begging HaKadosh Baruch Hu to simply just not take them there. Don't even take me to Gan Eden. Just don't take me to Gehinnom. I'll do everything. I'll keep mitzvot. I'll keep Torah. I'll become Baba Sali. I'll start teaching. I'll start giving everything I have, all the money, everything. Just don't take me to Gehinnom. If they only understood what it means. And then Rabbi Meir Baal HaNes says, by the way, the Chibut HaKever for the Reshaim, it's even worse than Gehinnom. I don't know what that means. All I know is that's really bad. Why is it so much worse? He says the Gehinnom is limited because he gets judged for the vast majority of his sins from the age of 20, with the exception of wasting seed. So the sins that a person made before the age of 20 have lesser of a judgment. It's not that there's no judgment, it's lesser of a judgment, with the exception of wasting seed. But then Rabbi Meir says the judgment that's in the grave, the beating of the grave, everyone has to go through, even a miscarriage. Everyone has to go through this.
"7 years of lectures. "7 months of film editing. Countless hours of study by 2 rabbis. Information we received over 3,000 years ago. All for this moment. Tikkun had greed. The movie.
There's a small member in your body. It shouldn't take over your whole life. If you satiate it, you're never going to have enough.
The Sofer clan, when it gets a hold of something, it does not let go.
Time for us to rectify what we have done.
Normal numbers should be somewhere around 20 million or higher.
You're never going to have control of it. If you start it, and only feed it when it's permissible according to the Torah.
Pornography is as addictive as crack cocaine.
You're always going to be happy, including this world and the next. Baruch Adonai Le'olam, Amen.